Are we on? Are we on? It's Thursday, February 13th, 2014. Welcome to another Galactic Netcast. This is the Alien Invasion number 96, temporarily held over in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. I'm Dave Anuki Nelson. Is it Anuki or Anuki?
Anunnaki.
Oh, Anunnaki, that's right. Okay. Joining me this evening from Wausau, Wisconsin, Brad Gorn Ludwig and Anessa Grays Moyens from Denton, Texas. I like this, Anessa. You're going like traditional old school aliens on us.
And it happens to be the first three creatures that you featured on the show.
Really? So we're kind of going we're doing a throwback. We're kind of looking back at the show, the history of the alien invasion, kind of as a dedication to the heritage of this show. Was that your plan?
Yeah, it's a nod back to the older shows. Because, I mean, we're close to 100.
Yeah, we are. Hell yeah. Good time. All right, welcome everybody to another Alien Invasion. This is the show where we talk about things and beings from elsewhere in the known universe or unknown universe. I guess the universe is the universe, right? There's no unknown or known, right? It's all there, I guess.
There's also
it's there. You just don't know what's there.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the known unknowns. Sorry.
Is that a President Bush thing?
No, that's a. Oh my.
It was
God.
a president, wasn't it? No, it was Secretary of State.
Yeah.
Who was the Secretary of State under Bush?
God, I wish I cared.
Okay, back to aliens. We talk about aliens in film, TV, video games, comic books, science, and in real life. The show is divided into three sections: the news, the creature feature. That's the spotlight of a certain kind of alien, and our picks for the week. If you want to watch us live, we record the show Thursdays, variable times. So what you do is you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus and find out when we go live. And when we are live, you can either watch us at galacticnetcasts.com/live or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/galacticnetcasts. So are you guys ready to get the show on the road?
I would be, but I looked at the document and I have no story.
Great. Thanks for jumping on that there,
I am ready, and
You know what?
Brad.
I will look for a
That's
story, and we will make the magic happen while it's going on.
Even better, Brad, I think there's a story on the Facebook page about a little something, about a little movie coming out starring a little actress.
Oh, nope, I got something.
Okay, all right. Well, in the meantime, let's start the show, and hopefully, Brad, that you will catch up. You gonna catch up?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
In the news.
And who's got the first story? Oh, I do. Look at there. Look at there. Isn't that funny? So, are you guys sick of the whole, like, Independence Day sequel drama?
Oh,
guys...
to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
That frickin' guy.
Well, it's got a long and storied history, going back all the way to 2009. And we learned this week that Will Smith is not going to be joining, will not be in the two sequels, if those two sequels are going to get made eventually. And MTV.com looked at the past, the history of the development of the Independence Day sequels. So here's the timeline. It all started back in 2009, October 12th to be exact. The sequel is announced right on the heels of the box office flop of 10,000 BC, and just before the moderately successful 2012, the movie 2012, both directed by Roland Emmerich. I think one of you guys' headphones is up. I'm getting a little echo.
It's probably me. Turning it down.
Thank you. Okay, so that was first announced. Those were both Roland Emmerich films, by the way. The 10,000 BC, which just was terrible, and 2012, not much better, but still okay. He first announces that he and screenwriter Dean Devlin are planning a sequel to Independence Day. According to Emmerich, having Will Smith on board is essential for us, for the movie, and actually for the audience, too. A month later, Emmerich announces that there will be not one, but two movies in the series, and that they would be called ID4 ID4-ever. ID4-ever. September 10th, 2010, Bill Pullman weighs in. When hearing the news about the sequel, he said, "Isn't that beautiful?" Not much more than that. That's all he said. Also more plot details emerged from Emmerich, as after picking up the story, naturally the alien technology has changed everything. Naturally, he also asks the cryptic question, who will be the president? September 12th, 2012, Emmerich decides that he'll try his hand at 3D on the two sequels. July 21st, 2013, the sequel is officially a go. 20th Century Fox finalizes or finally announces that the Independence Day sequel is definitely happening, and they set a release date of July 3rd, 2015. September 26, 2013, Will Smith's involvement is in doubt. Michael B. Jordan apparently meets with producers about a role in the sequel. Jordan continues to be the king of being attached to, but not officially cast in any blockbuster. And this is them writing this. See Fantastic Four. Because he's long been rumored to be in that movie, yet nothing announced yet. October 24th, 2013, Emmerich reveals that he is prepared to move forward on the sequel without Will Smith. And he's even written a script without his character. Still, Emmerich stays positive, saying that negotiations with Smith are looking good. November 12th, 2013, Fox announces that the sequel is delayed until 2016. See, that's a red flag right there. Actually, the last two were red flags. Emmerich announcing that Will Smith, he's writing a story based around his character not being in the movie, and then 20th Century Fox going, we got to wait another year. We're not quite ready yet. This week, February 7th, 2014, Will Smith tells Fox that he will not be in the sequels. And here is what we know so far in a nutshell. Will Smith won't be in, probably. Michael B. Jordan will be in, maybe. Many characters from the first appear in the script, though no actors are confirmed. After an official release date of July 3rd, 2015, it's been delayed to 2016 with no confirmed date, and it's apparently still called ID4-ever. So there you go. Everything that you did or didn't want to know about the sequel to Independence Day in the history of the film.
I kind of think that the ID should be "is dead forever."
You think?
I do. Like, just hearing about all the trouble that they have with trying to get this thing going, and like the rewrites and trying to get Will Smith, and then it's like, oh, it's looking good, and then nope, we're not going to get him, and it just seems like it just needs to die. They need to let it go.
Yeah. I think they should do a reboot. I think they should do the original movie over again, completely over, clean the slate, start from scratch.
There's too many reboots, though, and there's reboots of reboots.
So you think that they should do something totally original?
I do. Call me crazy, but
I might just call you crazy. Or just call you. One of the two.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, Brad, what's your feelings on this story? Or just your feelings in general on the sequel to Independence?
Without Will Smith, and it's not a reboot, they should just not do it. They really shouldn't. I think the original movie came out in,
96.
96. I think that the time has really kind of passed to do a sequel.
It's been almost 20 years, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
so I think you either just let it die, or God forbid I say the words reboot. As much as I'm starting to dislike reboots, but
Reboot.
They need to reboot the show Reboot.
You guys need to read the article that this came from, because the guy who wrote this was really funny. A lot of snark I did not include in what I was reading, just because I don't want to steal somebody else's words because brilliant piece from MTV, whoever the columnist was. So check it out. We'll have the links in the show notes of the podcast. Wow, look at here. Brad got a story.
Bam.
What is it? What do you got?
I've got, we're going to talk about the UFO Congress that is taking place near Scottsdale, Arizona. The title of the article that I'm reading from is Alien Abductions, NASA Scientists Crop Circles on Tap at UFO Congress.
I'm still here, by the way.
Okay, you're just turning off the video. All right. So here we go. This is from the HuffPost. Once upon a time, UFO conventions or seminars primarily attracted the lunatic fringe crowd, those who arrived wearing alien costumes, tinfoil hats, and hoping to meet the alien man or woman of their dreams. Certainly it was not the kind of event where serious scientists showed up. That's changing at this week's 23rd annual International UFO Congress. The overall credibility climate has evolved where the topics presented during the week include government cover-ups, go figure, conspiracy theories, crop circles, alien abductions, and former NASA scientists speaking out on how close we are to extraterrestrial contact. The IUFOC, try that one more time, the IUFOC, oh, I got it right.
International University of Fart of Congress.
Really?
International.
Whoa, hold on. You're bringing fart to the table. Seriously.
I knew what it meant. I was just playing.
International Unidentified Flying Object Conference is what my...
Okay.
The biggest UFO conference in the world is presented each year by the Arizona-based Open Minds Productions, which offers the whole spectrum of UFOs and related unexplained phenomenon through radio and television programs and their Open Minds magazine. We have a lot more credible speakers than what the general public would expect for a UFO event, said Alejandro Rojas, one of the co-organizers and the master of ceremonies at this year's IUFOC. Now here's the list of speakers that they have for the UFO Congress. It includes theologian Ted Peters, who has publicly stated that many religious leaders are ready to share a pew with aliens. Former NASA scientist Richard Hoover, an astrobiologist engaged in research to find evidence of present-day water and fossilized and living organisms on Mars. Astrophysicist Jeffrey Bennett, a former visiting senior scientist at NASA headquarters and one of the scientific leaders in the search for extraterrestrial life. Former Army Colonel John Alexander, a leading advocate for the development of non-lethal weapons, who has conducted non-lethal warfare briefings at the highest levels of government. He has also organized a interagency UFO study and has taught psychokinesis in the military.
Hey, look at here, and George Norrie.
Yes, George Norrie is also on the list, who is one of the biggest nightly syndicated radio program hosts in North America.
On a side note, it always upsets me when they don't talk about something weird on Coast to Coast, because the show has become more mainstream now. They talk about, like, let's see, vitamins and other things of non-like paranormal stuff, and it always pisses me off when they do that. I'm like, where's my Bigfoot? Where's my UFO? Where's my ghosts?
Where's the call-in from the guy who claims to be a vampire?
Yeah.
That actually happened. All right. And psychokinesis is, psycho being mental, mind movement, essentially. So what this is talking about is the ability to influence things with your mind. So like telekinesis, teleportation, supposedly.
Is that Is remote viewing on that list somewhere? Because the military seems to have in the past been involved in that.
Influencing probability. Let's see. I can give you the etymology. Psyche, which is a Greek language. Mind. Kinesis, meaning motion. Let's see. Ability allegedly possessed by living beings. Blah, blah. Psychokinesis became the term preferred by the parapsychological community. Popular usage favors the word telekinesis to describe the paranormal movement of objects, perhaps due to the word's resemblance to others, such as telepathy, blah, blah, blah. Modern usage. Here we go. Biological healing. I could see there being a benefit to the military about that. Control of electrons, control of magnetism, control of photons, light. So
My God, that's like being a superhero. That's like being part of like the X-Men or something. You know, those are like superhero powers almost.
Well, biological healing. You got Wolverine, control of electrons. Have to think about that. Magnetism, you've got Polaris and Magneto, control of photons. You've got the third Captain Marvel, or actually the second Ms. Marvel. Boy, this could go on and on, blah, blah. Anyways, let's get back to this. So just stuff you can do with your mind. One of the unique features of this conference involves people who attend special experiencer sessions with therapists. Why? Why, Dave?
For alien abductees.
Correct.
Yay.
We have therapists who put together UFO abduction experiencer groups. These are like group therapies where people can get together with others who have had similar experiences, Rojas told the HuffPost. When it comes to claims of people who believe they've been abducted by aliens, society, including skeptics and debunkers, generally doesn't give any credence to such reports. Going to wrap this up here with a final quote from Rojas saying, I think there are a lot of people who are interested in subjects that are seen as taboo, and I don't think that they should be. Hopefully they'll feel more comfortable and notice there are a lot of very credible and grounded people who are interested in this topic. Whew.
That's a lot of words.
That was. I trimmed out a lot from the article as well.
But things are happening in Scottsdale this week, it sounds like.
They most certainly are.
And they have excellent skies out there, so I hope some people brought some telescopes and binoculars.
Oh,
yeah, no kidding.
Vanessa pulling out the astronomy card right there.
Bam. Science!
Science! It's okay, I'm going to smash it to the ground here with the next story.
All right.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, at least you got your science cred. Hey, I wanted to jump in real quick. This is totally not related to UFOs or aliens or anything, but Mars was mentioned in the story. Did you guys see the article this week that they may have found like water on Mars, actual real life water, not frozen, but flowing water
like liquid water?
Yeah, liquid water.
Huh? No, I had not seen that.
Yeah, I haven't either.
There's they released these photographs showing this color. And this color, the sand color, it's like red or brown or something, it moves.
Yeah, actually, I just pulled up an article from the state column.
They think the water is somehow contained in some sort of mineral that causes it or stops it from freezing.
Okay, so NASA released some new images that show compelling evidence for liquid water flows on the red planet. What they found are dark tendril-like markings on the planet's surface that creep down Martian slopes when the temperatures rise. Along with corresponding seasonal changes in iron minerals on those same slopes, the findings suggest that brines mixed with a sort of natural iron mineral, antifreeze, flow down the slopes seasonally. Accordingly, these reoccurring slope line have become a hot topic as of late. They're saying we still don't have a smoking gun for the existence of water in RSL. RSL, not sure, not catching the reference here. But anyway, although we're not sure how this process would take place without water. So
interesting.
They've got at least something to go on, something to look for. So we may be closer to finding liquid water on Mars.
I think Mars has a lot more surprises up their sleeve or up its sleeve than we think. I think we're going to learn a lot more about that planet in the coming years.
I would like to meet Mars's tailor, where I could get something with sleeves to wear.
Mars has sleeves? That's awesome.
Mars has sleeves. All right.
Show title. Write that down.
Writing it down.
All right, so if you're into UFOs, extraterrestrials, and stuff related to it, then you should be in Scottsdale. What are you doing there in Omaha, Nebraska? You should be in Scottsdale, people. Just as an example of somebody that's not in Scottsdale.
Yeah. Well, I mean, wouldn't you want to be in Scottsdale? It's warmer than Omaha, Nebraska.
Totally. And then spring training's going on there, and catch a little baseball. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the final story. Anessa, what do you got for us?
I would first like to apologize to our listeners, and I just want you to think of this as more of a
red flag
warning to avoid it. It's like a heads up public service announcement. But
the more you know.
I know. Well, I'm sure after years and years and years, it's been like, what, 20 years? We've all tried to block out Achy Breaky Heart from our minds.
Oh, my God.
And Billy Ray just couldn't let it go.
Billy Ray of the Cyrus?
Yes, Billy Ray of the Cyrus could not let it go. And he teamed up with Buck 22, who happens to be Dionne Warwick's son.
Okay, stop
the
story right there. Buck 22. So he's
a rapper.
He's more valuable than 50 Cent then, if he's a Buck 22.
Yeah, he's.
Now, if he was a buck and a quarter. Buck and a quarter staff. All right, next.
So, yeah, so Buck 22 teamed up with Billy Ray Cyrus to do a remake of Achy Breaky Heart. Now, everyone's probably wondering, what does this have to do with the alien invasion? Well, the video actually starts off with, what's his face? Larry King, basically doing this announcement that a UFO has been sighted, and it has arrived in the U.S., and it's somewhere near where Muhammad Ali lives. And so the video, I'm just going to tell you what happens in the video in case you're curious. And this way you don't have to subject yourself to the pain that is Achy Breaky Heart as a hip-hop song. So you start off with Larry King going, "Warning! There's UFOs in the United States," and apparently it's over by Muhammad Ali's house. Billy Ray Cyrus and a small kid are reenacting the opening scene of the Andy Griffith Show near what we can only assume as being Muhammad Ali's house. And so Billy Ray and this kid get abducted by a UFO, and for some reason during this abduction, this kid turns into Buck 22. He goes from being a kid to being some 20, 30-year-old guy. I don't know how old Buck 22 is. And it apparently is Billy Ray's entire band ends up getting abducted, and Billy Ray is singing the chorus line for Achy Breaky Heart, and Buck 22 is talking about how he's been on TMZ and whatever else he's rapping about. I zoned out. And the aliens in this video are basically strippers with lots of makeup that make them look trashy. And there's twerking and space bongs and
This sounds like the worst thing ever, Anessa.
and line dancing.
Why would you even... I don't understand. How do you spell Buck 22, by the way?
BUCK22, the number 22.
Is it together, or is there a space between them?
I think there's a space between it and the article.
Okay.
So...
Dear God in heaven, this sounds like a train wreck.
It's awful.
I'm looking for it right now.
I really would like people not to watch it. Stay away. Save yourself. Please.
Wait a second. Do you have a link to the actual video?
If you click on the article, the video is in it.
And we'll have the link in the podcast.
God in heaven.
And I'm sure if you just click on the YouTube video itself, it'll take you to YouTube. So I didn't want to link directly to the video for a reason. But it's awful. Excuse me. So yes, Billy Ray was abducted by aliens and made this awful song, and you should totally save yourself.
Okay, stand by.
Are you gonna play it?
I hear a little bit of it here.
No! It's awful.
All right, keep talking.
It's so bad. But yeah, like, Buck 22 raps about how he's on TMZ all the time, and I've never heard of him before, so I kind of doubt that that's true. I don't watch TMZ, though, so I really don't know.
Here we go. Here it is. It's bad already.
Yeah, it is.
Who would have thought that this song would ever be made into a rap version?
Let me tell you, BRC.
No clue.
I happened to meet up with Billy Cyrus. It happened because I ran into It happened because I'm sipping on that good Kentucky.
Yeah, those are the most scantily clad aliens I've ever seen.
Yeah, there's not much there.
Oh my god, that's the worst video I've ever seen.
I'm telling you to save yourself. I'm warning you not to watch it, and Dave's like, I'm gonna go watch this video.
Well, it's one of those things where, as a parent, I can say that, if you tell your child not to do something, that's the first thing they're going to do.
That's true. So maybe I should tell people, like, you need to go watch this video, and they'll be like, I'll get to it, and then they'll never watch it.
Yeah, reverse
psychology, yo.
Yeah.
So
that song reminded me of when Vanilla Ice redid, what was his song?
Ice Baby is a rock song.
Yeah, it's very.
But I will say that I would prefer that over this. But yeah, for some reason, Billy Ray felt the need to combine country into rap, and it's awful.
I hope this is not a comeback. I hope this is not the start of a comeback for Billy Ray.
Don't call it a comeback.
He's been here for years.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Well, I've watched Hannah Montana with my son, so yes.
But he wasn't making awful music in Hannah Montana, so it's okay.
I can proudly say I've never seen one single episode of that show. Not one.
Well, there you go.
There.
All right, are we done talking about that terrible, terrible video?
Yes.
Can we move on, please?
I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Anessa. And Brad.
That was your warning. Don't watch the video. Sorry. Watch the video. You should totally watch the video. It's the best thing ever.
After you watch the video, let us know what you thought of it. Leave us some feedback, galacticnetcasts@gmail.com, or you can call our voicemail number, which is 805-328-3966, or also leave a comment in the forums section at galacticnetcasts.com.
Sorry,
all right,
listeners.
You're not sorry.
I feel a little bad.
Okay.
You should.
Let's wash our brains out with this right here.
And now it's time for
Brains
Creature Feature.
or ears. One of the two. All right, creature feature. This is the spotlight of a certain kind of alien from science fiction, science, or real life. And I want to go back to the story that I had about Independence Day, and I can't believe, doing my research today, I can't believe we've never talked about the aliens from Independence Day as the creature feature. I was shocked. Shocked.
Yeah, I went and I looked at the creature feature list, and I was like, huh, I guess we haven't.
96 episodes. We went 96 episodes without featuring these guys. I'm really surprised.
Surprise!
They don't really have a name. They're just the Independence Day aliens. I couldn't find a name for them, and I don't think they ever found out the name of them in the movie.
Nope.
I think it was just those guys.
Yeah, those guys. These guys are a race of spacefaring creatures, and they travel from planet to planet, devouring each world's natural resources before moving on to the next one. So basically, they're this.
I'm sorry, they're what?
They're devouring. That's my devour sound.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You sound like the Hamburglar.
Yes, exactly.
Robble, robble.
I wonder if he was an alien.
I'm sure he was.
I would
Those
think
guys,
he
the
was.
characters like him and the other ones, they weren't exactly human looking. They were. You couldn't really put your finger on it. They were not that identifiable as anything really. So they could have been an alien. You know?
Yeah, it could have been.
Absolutely.
Or
All right.
some horrible mutation.
Yeah, that's possible. Physically, the aliens from Independence Day are no more durable than a human, but they do possess superior technology, defense fields, highly destructive weaponry, and protective biomechanical suits. But all that technology was taken down by, Brad, what kind of computer did Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith use?
A Mac?
Yeah, it was a Mac. Like a... Was it an Apple IIe? No, it wasn't an Apple IIe.
No, it was a laptop.
Yeah. It was very, very early on stuff. Early Mac laptop. The aliens have a slender, quasi-human body with 3 jointed limbs and only 2 digits on their hands and feet. Their head is enlarged. They have large pupil-less eyes or eye-like organs and a number of long, grasping tentacles protruding from their suits' backs. Lacking both ears and vocal cords, they communicate using a sophisticated form of telepathy. They are also able to control other beings, at least partially, by attaching tentacles to their necks. They apparently do this in order to communicate with non-telepathic species as well. They travel around the galaxy in a single massive mothership that's around 550 kilometers in diameter. The ship can then deploy numerous smaller city-sized spacecraft, who also can launch smaller, like attack spacecraft when they invade a planet. Let's see. The species breathes oxygen and requires similar environmental conditions to humans, which is the reason why they became interested in Earth in the first place. Although a single alien ship crashed in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, the actual invasion only started in 1996. There you have it, people. That is your creature feature, the aliens from Independence Day. What was the famous line when Will Smith punched the alien in the face? Didn't he say, he said, "Welcome to Earth," right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't exactly remember actually seeing any of those aliens from the movie, but it's been a long time since I've seen the movie.
Yeah.
You see some of them, but not long, not much.
Did they encounter them on the ship when Goldblum and Smith, when they board the ship in orbit? Did they actually encounter them?
Well, they're in the control room when they dock the ship, or yeah.
And they yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to watch that movie again sometime.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it because I remember like out in the desert, so he's like dragging the UFO, and you kind of see like brief glimpses when the aliens in the lab talking through the scientist dude.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
You see like the tentacles and stuff, but it's really foggy and smoky, so you don't get like a really good look at the alien.
Yeah. I don't think it's ever real plain what they look like. You know.
Yeah, because I mean, you see like the alien being dragged out in the desert, and you see glimpses of the alien when he's talking through the scientist.
Brent Spiner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think you see the aliens in the ship, but they fog over the windows. Well, Will Smith, they fog over the windows or something with the ship so they can't be seen because they're like right there trying to hack in and infect the thing.
I wonder if they did that on purpose. If they were very vague, purposefully vague, of not showing them right, clear as day.
I would think so because then they would have to spend a lot more money on the actual alien, making it look
Yeah.
not cheesy. And I think just catching glimpses, it allows people to have their imaginations run wild and add to the horror. But if you sit there and you can stare at the alien and think, oh, well, that's not too bad. But if you just catch glimpses and you think about it, then your mind tends to build on top of your memories.
Yeah, just like that whole, the scariest of the Alien films is Alien because they hardly show the alien,
Yeah. It's, to me, not just alien films, but horror movies that have something lurking or the potential of something coming out or something bad happening is more effective in being scary to me than just a hack and slash thriller.
Yeah, Jason Voorhees became less scary when they actually showed him.
Yeah, exactly. And even Mike Myers, you knew he was coming, but you didn't necessarily see him coming after people. But once they started incorporating oh, I'm just gonna go and hack and slash people, it's meh, whatever. So I like the ones where you have to use a bit of your imagination to add to the creep factor. And I think that's probably why I don't really care much for horror movies these days. As far as watching them as a horror movie and wanting to be scared, they're just not that scary.
There is a picture of the aliens from Independence Day in the article where I got the information from, so we'll put that up on the podcast. We'll have that as the official podcast image. We always have one image, and we'll put him up as the official image of this particular episode of the Alien Invasion. All right, let's move on to our picks. And I think we got a good variety this week. Each individually, they're all individually interesting. So let's start with Brad. What do you got for picks? What did you watch, listen to, read, or take into your senses this week?
I attempted to watch the film The Appearance of a Man from 2008.
Wait, attempted?
Attempted. I got halfway through and I went, this is a damn train wreck. It sort of centers around an event that happened in 1997 called the Phoenix Lights. And it was lights, basically it was a UFO appearance in the sky. But it was multiple UFOs in a formation.
Yeah, and it was seen all over the Phoenix area.
Yeah, and it appeared not once but twice on two different occasions. So this movie centers around a priest who is having some horrifying migraines, but these migraines are giving him a vision, a vision which is auditory and visual, and these are violent violent headaches. And it centers around and this I like I said, I got halfway through because the pacing of this movie was just frickin' dreadful, horrible. But it centers around the symbol of the Ankh, the Egyptian cross. So think of a Christian cross, but at the very top, it's a like an oval at the top, as opposed to the straight shorter line at the top of a Christian cross. And basically, it was positing that it's not that aliens are actually angels, that these were angels that had come, that these, and that was the whole premise of this thing. So this priest was being contacted by these angels / aliens, whatever, and that's really kind of as far as I got. And I completely lost interest. It was horrible. As a pick, normally I try to recommend stuff. Very rarely do I say, oh my God, I watched this, for the love of God, don't do that. Or maybe I should say, please watch this, kind of like with the Billy Ray Cyrus train wreck. Yeah, it was on Hulu. Was it on Hulu? Yeah, it was on Hulu, in the movies section of Hulu, if you have Hulu Plus.
Oh, I was going to ask you, do you have to have Hulu Plus?
Yes, Hulu Plus. If you don't have Hulu Plus, hooray! You're not going to be able to see this piece of garbage. Yeah,
for people that like garbage, we will put the link to our store, or our Amazon link, that you can buy it.
Oh.
And
buy it for somebody that you absolutely hate. If there's like an antithesis to Valentine's Day, which Valentine's Day is tomorrow, if you absolutely loathe somebody, send them this movie, please. God, it's awful.
Brad, I want you to really tell us how you feel about this movie. I mean, don't hold back at all. I feel that you're being hesitant. I feel like
it's because I'm trying not to curse and make you do more work to beep stuff out. So no, I've kind of gone. There's this peak. There's this point where you hate something so much and you're angry, and then just apathy's right after that. And I just peaked and went right to apathy.
Okay, so you're in the apathy zone right now.
Oh, I'm totally in the apathy zone. This is absolutely horrible, and I'm so apathetic I can't even be angry about it anymore.
All right, so don't or do watch this movie. And
The Appearance of a Man from 2008.
Just the title alone sucks.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to Anessa's pick. Remember, folks, for the new listeners, these are all related somehow to aliens. Tell us, Anessa, how is this thing that I can't pronounce related to aliens?
I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce the alien race. I'm going to go with Ra.
Ra!
Because that seems easiest.
It's like T-Rexes.
Ra!
Ra! Gotta do the arms, though.
I am.
Little tiny arms. Okay, next.
Alright, so it's a short film, but I did discover after watching this that they're going to be making it into a feature film. So, neat. That means it doesn't suck.
Well, thank God for that.
So, I'm trying to redeem myself with this pick. It's a short film from the person's name is Caleb Lachowski, and he's also going to direct the feature film. And it follows a species of non-humans who defend a group of solar systems from attacks. And the the short film has one of these Ra characters, and he's basically tied up to this machine that will flip him over and it'll send him shocks. And at some point during this short story or this short film, he gives kind of a brief history about what's going on, and essentially this particular race, they end up using robots as weapons, and at some point the robots turned against their makers, and because they're the weapons, they know their tactics and whatnot, and so they were able to basically overturn, like uprise and like kill off a lot of that particular race. And so there were a few ships that were able to escape from these robots, and the robots are wanting to find them and kill them. So it's aliens versus robots, essentially. And watching the video, like the graphics and stuff are really good. I highly recommend checking it out. And for some reason, when this particular, I guess it's still a robot, was talking to this alien, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Gladys from Portal. And just the way it was set up, and it would like come down, but it had a bunch of red lights in various shapes and whatnot, and it would talk to the person. It was just the way it was set up, like whenever you actually encounter GLaDOS and you're trying to defeat her, just the movement and whatnot of that particular robotic arm. But the robots are basically trying to find out what the rendezvous point is, so that way they can go and attack the remaining Raws. And the Raws, like the first thing I thought of, just the way they look, it was like a shape of a like the headwear for Egyptians, how it kind of comes out, or maybe like a cobra snake. It's got like this fin that kind of comes out around their head.
Well, isn't Ra a god in Egyptian folklore, or?
It is, but it's like it's got the face of a bird, of which this particular alien species did not.
Okay.
At least the images that I've seen of Ra, it's got like this bird's face beak thing. And it looks, the face kind of resembles a human face, sort of, except without a mouth. I don't remember if it had a nose or not. And then it had basically 4 arms, which made me think of the Green Martians from A Princess of Mars, from the Barsoom series. And it had 2 legs. And this alien, it sounds like it's able to communicate verbally, but I think it talks from like back here as opposed to through to a mouth. I couldn't quite figure that part out. But yeah, it's really cool, and I'd be interested to see how they're going to go with the story, if it's just basically going to be this short film as the beginning and then it picks up, or if they're just going to incorporate that as some point of the timeline for the movie, which also kind of makes me think of District 9 and the short film, and then how they converted that to a feature-length film.
Yep.
So.
Where did you find this, on YouTube?
I actually came across it on Dorkly.com. And
Dorkly.com? Really?
Dorkly.com. And it was just like, Amazing Aliens versus Robots short film. And I said, okay, click.
Sign me up.
And it didn't really have any other descriptions to it, so I had to Google this particular short film. And then I came across an article from, I think, in the middle of last summer, that was talking about how they were gonna work on making this a feature film. So
pretty sweet. You know, the internet has been a boon. Am I saying that right? Boon for like independent artists like that, short filmmakers, writers,
yeah,
musicians, for a lot of different things.
It's been great for a lot of different people, and I know I used it as a pick in the Time-Traveling Robots in Space. I can't think of the name, but it's basically about a serial killer robot. And I came across an article that's going to get picked up into a feature film as well.
You know, that's one genre or one category of aliens that we haven't really touched on too much, the alien robots. I think we had one alien robot as the creature feature.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't really talked about it much more than that. I'd like to maybe investigate, maybe try to find some other picks involving alien robots, because they are featured once in a while.
Yeah, and Raw is essentially going to have alien robots versus aliens from, I don't know the name of the solar system. It doesn't actually say it in the short film, but I would really be interested in seeing the movie if the short film is any indication
All right.
of
And
its potential.
if you're interested in watching the short film, we'll have the link in the show notes of the podcast. You can check it out for yourself as well. Okay, so my pick is a movie called The Ghastly Love of Johnny X. And if you think the title makes it seem like kind of a cheesy movie, you'd be correct. Think, Anessa, remember the movie The American Astronaut? We
Let's
watched
have a party.
Yeah, that's where that came from. Yeah, hang on. What the hell was I thinking? Oh yeah, I don't have that anymore.
Oh.
Aw, boo.
Yeah.
No, I had this on my queue for a while now.
Wait a second.
Let's have a party. I think we'll have a party now. Let's have
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's fun when we
Okay,
get
Anessa, go ahead.
started out. No, I was just saying that I saw this in, I think it was Netflix, and I added it to my queue just because it seemed like it would have kind of the same vibe as, was it the Skull of Cadavra, and then, oh, what was the other movie that I watched that was a modern movie made to look like a 50s sci-fi flick?
That's what this is. And it's the kind of movie that you're not quite sure what year it takes place in because they run around in old cars wearing 50s fashions and they talk like they're from the 50s, but yet there's things that they mention like all the drive-in theaters being closed. That's totally not 1950s. And other things. But everything else looks like it's in 1950s. So this movie basically is about this group of aliens that gets exiled from their planet to the planet Earth, and the only way that they can come back is that if they perform an unselfish act of some kind. And Johnny X is the linchpin, and basically they run around this. It's kind of in a deserty area. They kind of run around this area like a gang, like a beatnik gang from the 1950s, but really they're aliens. And with him, he has this thing called the resurrection suit. And what he can do with the resurrection suit is he can basically make people do whatever he wants and bring dead people back to life, which is one of the characters in this movie. It's like this old rock star that died. And there's a promoter in the movie, and he's going to lose all of his money if he doesn't have this concert by this old rock star that is coming back for one final concert. So it's interesting. One note is that this was officially the lowest grossing movie of the year 2012, according to Box Office Mojo. It only made $117 in 1 week.
Although, now that it's on Netflix, they're going to end up with tiny little checks because my boss, totally not related to sci-fi, but my boss used to do, he's a musician. That's like his main, well, not so much now, but that was his main gig for a while, and he did the soundtrack for a bunch of really crappy horror movies, and one of them is now on Netflix, and he got a check a couple weeks ago for like $9 because apparently someone watched the movie.
That's sweet.
Nice.
So it's, gosh, I don't remember the name. Mountaintop Motel Massacre, I think.
Oh, that's just the name itself. It's terrible.
Yeah, and it was funny because I Googled it, and I think I came across a review that said something like, and I guess this is a compliment on his part, but they're like, the best part of the music was like, or the movie was the music and the sound effects, which he did. So I guess if you're going to watch it, then at least that adds to like the creep factor and whatnot.
Was it a lot of synthesizer and like sustained notes on a synthesizer?
Yeah, I think he used like a lot of like synthesizer stuff, and apparently there's a bit with a lot of cockroaches where he used it. It sounds like maybe picking the strings of a violin or something, just like tapping, so it sounds really creepy, like they're crawling. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch it one of these days, and then he's gonna get a check for like a couple bucks. I don't know how many people it had to watch it for him to get a check for $9,
probably
but
a few hundred people.
but he's like, check it out! I got a check for Mountaintop Motel Murder or whatever.
So, yeah, Netflix is a great place for movies that were bombed at theaters.
For really crappy movies, it's awesome.
This one, there's a little singing in it. It's not all singing. There's, I think, maybe 5 or 6 songs. That's not all musical. They're not just like singing the lines. You know, they'll talk and then they'll sing. That's the best kind of musicals. Musicals where they're singing the whole time, no, not gonna do it. So yeah, if you want to check it out, we'll have the link in the show notes, and of course, we'll have a link from Amazon. You can buy it or watch it through their streaming service, and we get a little cut, get a little piece of the action. Great way to support the network, Galactic Netcasts. So there we go. Those are our picks this week on the Alien Invasion podcast. If you want to check out those picks or anything else, go to galacticnetcasts.com. You can find our Facebook, Google, and Twitter links there under social. Call our voicemail number. Leave us feedback, 805-328-3966, or galacticnetcasts.com/subscribe to subscribe to the show. That's going to do it for episode number 96. Only 4 more to go until 100.
Woo!
Woohoo!
So we got to think about what we're going to do for the big 100 episode.
Will there be cake?
Sure, but you'll have to buy it.
Boo.
And virtual cake.
Virtual cake.
If we all get like a little cupcake, then we can have cake.
Yeah. Little, we can spell out Galactic Netcast, or no, Alien Invasion.
Just do AI, because that would be shorter. Especially if we're going to do it on a cupcake.
Yeah, we'll all get our own cupcakes and we'll eat them together. No, that is the way that we'll celebrate 100 episodes.
Yay! I'm excited.
All right, that's going to do it. Final thoughts. Let's go around the room.
I just took a quiz and it says that I should be in Minnesota, which is pretty close to Wisconsin.
You could be visiting Dave Nelson right now.
Yes.
I could be. Yeah, I don't really have much else to add.
That's a big thing right now, those quizzes, isn't it? There's like
I know. Like, I see them and I take them, but I don't always post the results. I'll maybe comment on somebody's.
What Parks and
quiz.
Recreation character are you?
Yeah. It's like, what state do you actually belong in? You got Minnesota.
So weird.
Yeah.
All right, Brad, your final thoughts, sir.
Wow, if there's one movie you can avoid this year, make it The Appearance of a Man.
Even though you see it on your Netflix, and Netflix, you know, is all the movies you can watch for that low, low price, don't include that movie in that low, low price.
No. No.
Why would you do something like that?
You do something better with your time, like learn how to knit or, you know, set
What they can
$5
watch.
on fire or something. Just don't. It's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. I was going to say what they can watch, if they can find it, is A Touch of Cloth.
You could watch a funny British Naked Gun meets CSI, yeah.
Okay.
Kinda.
Did you guys watch that together as movie night or for movie night?
Yes.
Cool.
And yeah, it's hilarious, well worth the time. Obviously not related to aliens whatsoever, but yeah, there you go.
All right, that's going to do it. I think that's the 3rd time I've said that. Make it 4. That's going to do it for this Alien Invasion podcast number 96. Till
Okay, bye!
Bye-bye. All right, sorry, had to hurry it up. We're We're coming up on the clock here.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So what
Just
I'm going
imagine
to
if we did commercials.
I know. Jeez. Thank God we had them out this week.
Yep.
We would not have made it to 8 o'clock. I could tell you
No.
that right now.
No.
Of course, we did start a half hour late, so
Yeah.
that
A
was
half
long.
hour late.
I
Around
wanted.
a half. 15 minutes.
It was
late.
like 15 minutes.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this. I'm going to save the audio. I'm going to go to the bathroom, and then I'm going to start the other hangout up. So I'll see you both in just a couple minutes.
Okay,
Yeah.
have fun.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.